Hello, folks. Dr. Palermo, your MELS 605 instructor with a week 3 mini lecture on a variety of different things and to-dos this week. This is 605. It is the last course in your sequence. I hope that you know that the MELS program at Gardner Webb is undergoing revision. You are a legacy group that is finishing out the program as it had been written, and as such, you should be completing your artifacts. You should have most of them done already and loaded into TaskStream, but there are two that need to be completed during 605, and then you should be compiling and putting all of your artifacts together and resubmitting those into TaskStream as a complete APDIL and APSIL and CAP. But during 605, the CAP, C-A-A-P, the Cultural Advocacy Plan, Part E, is a graphic organizer, a visual way to display the plan that you're going to be implementing, and perhaps a timeline as well. That's what would make it, in the quality lingo, a PERT, P-E-R-T chart. But I'm going to show you a couple different samples of organizational charts, visuals that folks use to explain how they are planning and implementing plans in school. And both the CAP-E and the SIAP, S-I-A-P, Part 6F, are graphic organizers. In my school, I use the SIAP-F as a way to visually describe our school improvement plan and have a visual up in every classroom. We're all different kinds of learners, and when you're writing big, long, detailed plans, if you can capture it in a visual of some sort, that's powerful. That's the whole idea of the 5E and 6F, CAP-E and SIAP-F. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that in just a minute, but a mini lecture on our content this week. I hope that you're enjoying the reading and learning something about management from Hersey. If you didn't know, this guy was big at Bell Telephone. I think when it was back and it was Bell Telephone. He invented a relay. He also invented a scientific approach to management, and that's the big idea of much of Hersey. But he does a good job in covering some of the history of the theories of motivation. You cannot, I don't believe that you should be an administrator and supervise others if you can't explain what theory X and Y are all about. I've kind of implied something about theory X and Y. It is McGregor's classic theory. It is explained in table 3.1 on page 45 in my text of Hersey. But theory X and Y, does it take sticks or carrots to move the donkeys in your school? So a variety of other arduous, good stuff in chapter 3. Read and respond, please. For sticks and carrots. That's the dialogue this week after you read Hersey chapter 3. And in Glickman chapter 6, self-knowledge. Okay. There are a couple of big ideas here. The Joe Harry window is one, if you haven't heard of it before. What do you know about yourself? What do others know about you as a leader? Joe Harry window 6.2 is important. Cognitive dissonance is on the next page, and I included a Dilbert cartoon there because I think that the pointy-haired boss often is a great example of cognitive dissonance, believing one thing in spite of the facts. So read and respond to stuff about cognitive dissonance. The supervisor's self-assessment is kind of interesting in chapter 6. But again, I think you need to know who you are in order to be able to lead others. So how does that apply here? Now, the big deal here, and I'm sorry I didn't mention it in week 2, is that you are to, in your working together on your artifacts, you are to load a CAP-E soon and put it in the dialogue board so that peers can look at it. Now, for a couple of semesters, you should have been completing this peer review process, but if you have not, then it is explained in our Blackboard here. No, that's not the right place, sorry. Under artifact, I think I put it under course assignments, is the peer review kit. If you have not watched this video, if you've not looked at the forms in the peer review kit, please do that now. I have assigned you to peer review teams, and I did that, let's see, I believe that it's definitely in the week 3 resources. So if you don't do anything but open week 3, you should be able to find here the peer review teams. So I have assigned you arbitrarily to teams of 4 and 5 others. Please check here and then follow the directions to complete a peer review of CAPE E in the next week or so. I had a timeline in here and I've kind of screwed up the timeline a little bit. Again, should have assigned your CAPE E last week, but if you can load, if you do have CAPE E, great. If you don't, take a look at some of the artifact resources here. I have loaded, this is the descriptor and rubric that you should use when you're doing peer reviews. Again, it's all here. There's your rubric from the handbook. Okay. Now, can I get out of that? We'll see. And the peer review teams, the peer review process, that's back over here again under assignment. So you've got a bunch of reading to do if you've not already done this, but watch the video, check out the peer review process, join up into teams based on those arbitrary assignments. I put you in groups of 4 and 5. How much time you spend describing the process, that's up to you. Dr. Neal feels that's a helpful piece here. And again, I'm not going to evaluate your artifacts. I'm going to evaluate how well you have collaborated with others to do this peer review process. And then the artifacts need to be loaded into TaskStream before too long. You only have 2 to complete during 605, but you should be wrapping up those other artifacts if they're not done. You should be working with your clinical coach if you are still struggling to get some of those things done. And by just a couple of weeks from now, early in March, you should have all of your artifacts loaded into TaskStream for evaluation if you've not done so already. I've given you your assignments for the teams. You should load, create, and load a CAPE E soon. Don't overthink this stuff, please. The CAPE E can be as simple as a PERT chart or a. Here, the samples have both a narrative with a graphic organizer. Some felt like that was necessary, some not so much. And here is a sample graphic organizer for 5E. It's one of 2 that I've put up in here. Both of them are proficient, I think, but I've put a sample there if you don't know where to start. Okay, I think that's it. Please do write to me. I'm debating whether to schedule a synchronous real-time question and answer session for you. I can do that evenings if you like. Please write to me if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you would like to see a synchronous real-time question and answer session with Dr. Palermo some evening. I'd be glad to schedule that. So let me know if that's something that would be helpful to you. Otherwise, have a great week. Write your CAPEs, read and respond to the dialogues. When you can get your CAPEs loaded, then start that peer review process too. And Dr. Neal suggests that the last person on each team take the initiative to be the Zoom master and start that thing off. I don't much care as long as you get the peer reviews done. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.